If you are a guy that struggles to have more than platonic conversations, maybe you end up in the friend zone quite a bit, or you have a lot of conversations that don't go anywhere, you get a lot of nice to meet yous whenever you've talked to a girl for 20, 30 minutes, and it doesn't really go anywhere. I'm gonna show you using this chart how to escalate in your conversations to make them more man to woman, to make them more attraction based, and remove what I call the platonic blindfold. And I'll get to that in a minute, what I mean. This is the key to sexualizing conversations. And I just have the chart over here, so if you see me looking over, it's because I'm cheating a little bit. Let me just explain this chart. E is escalation, so how sexual the conversation is, and T is time. You'll notice that escalation is not a linear thing. It doesn't just go up as you spend more time with her. You have to do things to move the conversation forward and escalate the conversation, get her more turned on, get her to realize that, hey, this is a sexual conversation. Because a lot of you guys actually have the sexual attraction within you. You just have to show her that you have that. I just want to show you really quickly how to move from high to asking her out, sexualizing the conversation, getting her contact info where there's like a good amount of sexual attention. And the reason I want to show you that is because the sexual hook point, or the sexualizing part of the conversation, is how you reduce your flake rate. A lot of guys will optimize to get numbers, and they'll get numbers, but like the girl doesn't want to meet up with them because they didn't feel anything. They didn't feel that tension. And you need to really feel that if you're a girl to want to meet up with a guy, because you have so many options. Guys are hitting you up all the time that you need to feel something special with that guy. And so this is something that if we want to be a guys that really stand out to the women we talk to, we need to be able to tap into this consistently. I'm not going to spend too much time at the beginning of the chart. Obviously, saying hi is just going up with good vibes and good sub-communication and saying hi to her. And platonic conversation is probably what you're already doing. If you're having trouble with platonic conversations, I have a cheat sheet for topics that you can use. Talk about your passions, talk about travel, talk about high-value activities that you do, and honestly, any activity that you really, really like, any hobby you really like, if you talk passionately about it and talk about how it makes you feel, and literally think this is the most awesome shit ever, even if it's fucking Legos, the girl's gonna like it. I don't have time for it in this video, but the law of emotional mirroring states that she will feel how you feel. If you have trouble with platonic conversations, those are 3 topics you can stick to very easily and get a 5-10 minute conversation if you're having trouble hitting this polarizing hook point. Just a side note on this, when I'm approaching groups of girls, I will have platonic conversation with the entire group. I'll be like, hey, what's up? You guys seem fun. What are you guys doing tonight? How long are you guys here? Oh, cool. Hey, you seem like the mom. You seem really sweet and nice. And that's when I try to get into a polarizing hook point, this really key aspect of the conversation with the girl that I like. And you can do this one-on-one as well. You just copy some of these tactics that I'm about to lay out. So the polarizing hook point is really just the point where the girl realizes, oh shit, this is man to woman. This is a sexual conversation. This guy is not here to be my friend. He's here to fuck me. When I say that, it might sound really intimidating. It's really not. It just means that she knows what's going on. And you shouldn't be trying to hide the fact that you're hitting on her anyway. You should be proud and happy that you are hitting on her. A lot of guys fail to get to this point because they don't understand that women have this platonic blindfold on at all times, where when a guy comes up to them, they assume the guy is just nice. They assume the guy can be their friend, and he's really in love with them or really wants to talk to them and hit on them and go on a date with them. So you need to hit this polarizing hook point. So she takes that blindfold off, you rip the blindfold off, and she sees you as the sexual being that you actually are. So how do you hit the polarizing hook point? There's a couple ways that you can do this. Really what you need to do is spike her emotions. So one thing that I always tell my clients is, instead of talking about things that you like or things that you think are pretty cool, or having a mild perspective on things, have a more extreme perspective on things. Like, she says sushi and you fucking hate sushi, right? Maybe you just don't like it that much. Maybe you're not crazy about it. Say that you fucking hate sushi. I fucking hate that shit. Because it might be a polarizing take. It might be a very controversial thing. She might not like the fact that you said it, but you made her feel something that she likes. You said you fucking hate it. And that means you have a backbone, and it's very attractive. The second thing you can do is make assumptions about her. One assumption that is really easy to make, that I make a lot, is I'll just call a girl trouble. Like, I can tell you're trouble. I don't know if we're gonna get along. And this disqualification, especially when it's done in a playful and fun way, shows that I'm not afraid to walk away, I'm not afraid to leave, but I'm also not afraid to give her some shit and flip the script on her, because obviously I came up to her, I'm hitting on her, and if I can flip the script, then I'm comfortable with rejection. Rejection has no power over me. So she has nothing she can do that will affect me. And when a girl can't really affect how you feel or affect your state, it's very, very attractive. Another thing that really can polarize conversations is anything she says, just kind of be like, oh, yeah, of course you do. If she wants to be a model, yeah, of course you want to be a model, right? I can tell. You have that look about you. So what that does is it shows some level of indirect social proof where you're basically saying, like, I have experience with girls like you. I know what's going on, and I understand who you are, and that's a very high value thing. Eventually, you'll start hitting this polarizing hook point where girls will start making stronger eye contact with you, smiling more. They'll start giggling. They'll start showing indicators of interest. They'll be playing with their hair. They'll be doing all this like weird shit that you aren't used to seeing. And that's when you know you've hit the polarizing hook points. Once you've gotten to this point, there's a million things you can do to make sure you pull, make sure you get the number. But the number one thing that I would suggest, especially if you're a guy that's too nice and you find yourself in too many platonic situations with girls when you really want to be moving things forward, is misinterpret things sexually. So think about it like you're a fourth grader and you're making sexual jokes all the time. You can't stop thinking sexually. Like, that's what she said. Like, actually doing that and being super immature and misinterpreting everything as sexual is very, very powerful for sexualizing the conversation. Okay, there's other things you can do, like you can talk about what's the craziest thing you've ever done, and then she'll probably ask you what that is for you, and you can tell her some like sex story, some story that involves sex or spontaneous adventures you've been on. That's another way you can do it, but I really like just misinterpreting, especially if you're starting out. You just misinterpret. Like, she says something about something's big, and it's like, nah, mine's actually really small. A joke like that does a great job of sexualizing the conversation. But it also shows you're comfortable talking about sex, you're not judgmental about it, and it like puts it in her head. Like, one of the most important things with frame control and understanding how to talk to women is just putting ideas in their head. That's it, so that they're thinking about it. A lot of times girls aren't thinking about sex the same way that we are, but once they are, they're a lot more open to it. Finally, to get to the point where you have sexualized the conversation, to get to the point where you're asking her for contact info. By the way, not every girl will have 10 minutes to talk to you. Just get the number and get as far as you possibly can inside of this framework. You can get to this point, the last thing you want to do is start disqualifying her, okay? If you can disqualify her and be like, oh no, you're not as fun as I thought you'd be, right? This is not negging. This is not any weird self-esteem cutting down stuff. This is literally just disqualifying things that you actually don't like about her to get her to qualify to you. So this can be as simple as, oh yeah, I really respect people that go to the gym. That's not even directly disqualifying her, but she can qualify to you. And she can say, oh yeah, I actually go to the gym all the time. When a girl starts qualifying to you, you're in a place where you can ask her number and she will gladly give it to you and she will be excited to see you again. That is how you escalate in conversations. Leave a comment. Let me know what concepts you want me to talk about in the future. I can make videos pretty much every day. I'm just filming in my apartment. So let me know down in the comments below. See you guys next time.